golfj.com.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Golf J podcast on golfj.com. Jim Sinacropi alongside Rhett Taccone inside the Finger Lakes 1.tv studios in Seneca Falls, New York on Monday night, November 9th.
It's getting late in the year.
It is almost time for the winter break. We're going to have another episode, and then when the PGA Tour goes on their break, we're going to take a little break for the holidays as well on the podcast. But tonight, there will be no break. Ton to talk about. Russell Knox got his first PGA Tour win in China. We'll talk about the impending anchored putting ban. We'll review swingOil, a pre-round supplement that we tried. We'll give you our fantasy golf picks for the OHL Classic at Mayakoba. And we'll have a chance for you to win a sweet Golf J hat, not unlike the one I'm wearing right now.
Kind of like that one.
If you're the first to answer this week's trivia question. So let's get right to it, Rhett, and start with the World Golf Championships, where Russell Knox carded a 4-under par 68 to win the World Golf Championships in the final round. HSBC champions by 2 strokes. Another first-time PGA Tour winner. But a longer road for Knox. It took him 93 career starts.
Yeah.
He's exempt now on the tour through the 2017-18 season. Native of Scotland, came to college in the U.S. at Jacksonville University in Florida. And
another Masters spot.
Yeah, and he seems to me like the type of guy that will really play well in the Masters.
Absolutely.
So
he had to fight hard though too, because Danny Willett fires off a 62 in the final round. Seems like every week these guys, somebody in the final round is firing off a 63 or 62 to either win it or make it close.
Well, that's what you got to do in these events where 20 under wins it this week.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I don't know how you feel about the World Golf Championship event in like November, but this didn't feel like, a bigger one. It felt almost like a continuation from the Shriners. The field was a little better.
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, but over there in China, overnight television coverage.
I'm getting tired of these 2 a.m. finishes each day. I'm glad we're coming back at least to the West Coast, so we can get it done, around 10 o'clock at night and go to bed at a decent time. But yeah, it was the field was strong, but just too early for a World Golf Championship. I like the World Golf Championship starting with the Doral, and the Cadillac, and the match play in February, Doral in March, and then getting into those, then you have Firestone, and then finishing up with one of them. I don't know about having one this early in the season when we've got too many guys in different places. Some guys aren't playing because they're just resting, and guys are taking off because they want to go to the Euro Tour at the end of the season at the race to Dubai. So Justin Rose wasn't in the tournament. A guy like that should be in the tournament. I think it's too early for that. But that's what we're talking about week in and week out with this wraparound schedule, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So we're still talking about golf, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and for people that really like golf, I guess it is, exciting, but to have a bigger tournament this time of year. But you know what? There's only so many weeks in the year, and you can only make so many big tournaments.
Right.
It's tough to get up for all these World Golf Championships were supposed to be like the next level down from the majors, but this HSBC Champions is not in the same stratosphere as even the Memorial.
No. There's plenty of big tournaments on the PGA Tour that I would say would be way bigger than this one. And it's just the timing of the year too hurts it. But I think World Golf Championships, those should be probably top 50 only type tournaments. Invitation only, top 50. That's the cream of the crop.
I'd like to see the break format. One of them's a match play. I would like to. I think a great idea would be to have one where the top 50 players in the world can pick a partner, either inside that top 50 or outside, and go to a little 2-man, 36-hole qualifier, and then the top 8 advance to matches.
I like that.
FedEx points and everything.
Kind of like the World Cup of Golf they used to have when Freddie and Davis Love dominated for like 4 or 5 years.
Right, but this would actually, since it was a World Golf Championship, would be bigger.
Well, yeah, and you still get the big money, the points, all that stuff.
Golf is so much more than 4 rounds, stroke play.
There's a lot of ways to play it. A lot of ways.
So outside the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, and the match play, that's all we get.
I like
4
it.
rounds match play with a cut sometimes, our stroke play cut sometimes not a cut.
Yeah.
Big stories at the HSBC. A 20-year-old Chinese native, Hao Tong Li, finished tied for 7th. He had the whole nation behind him, and
It was big for him.
And I don't know. We talked earlier about how China is kind of putting the kibosh on golf courses and private club memberships, but if
Certainly.
some Chinese players
Certainly
start
behind
playing
their players. I mean, it's crazy to think that they're trying to ban golf in a lot of areas over there, and they have such good players coming along. So I mean, it's a kind of, they can't have your cake and eat it too. Something's got to give there. Got to support those guys. They have to have places to play. So
Kevin Kisner came in second. He had a sore back, didn't play any practice rounds. Finished solo second for the 4th time in 2015.
Right.
It's going to feel great for him when he finally wins, and I don't think it'll take too long.
No,
I think before April he's going to win something.
Yeah. I wouldn't. He'll be way up there too, coming to the Masters time if he keeps playing the way he is. He's very consistent and a guy to definitely look forward to having a big season from. A lot of picks on fantasy this year, I feel, for Kevin Kisner.
And then Jordan Spieth is back as the world number 1. Jason Day out because Spieth finished tied for 7th. Day didn't even play.
Day hasn't played in like weeks, so
that's why this World Golf Championship, HSBC Champions,
number 1 player in the world's not in it. It's with him not playing since President's Cup, and this roller coaster going back and forth between him and Rory and Jordan Spieth. I mean, the world golf rankings at the top 2 or 3 is kind of becoming a little bit of a farce these last few weeks. It's like, why does it change so dramatically every week? But
it's because it's so close at the top. But again, just Day doesn't play, Spieth plays and finishes well, so now he's back on top.
Right.
But it's a mathematical formula. So next week the tour heads to Mexico for the OHL Classic at the Mayakoba. Thursday through Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. afternoon Eastern time on the Golf Channel. So some more reasonable viewing times for that one. And we'll give you our fantasy picks coming up. Also, the HSBC Champs wasn't the only tournament. There was a big Monday finish at the Sanderson Farms in Jackson, Mississippi. At the Country Club of Jackson after a rainy weekend to kind of push the final third and fourth round into Monday.
Long week for those guys.
And who's our winner?
Peter Malnati. He went 5 under his last 12 holes to seal the deal.
Another first time winner.
Was at 5 out of 5 the last 5 tournaments, and he had a tough. He grinded out the par on 18 to get him to keep him at 18.
Calmly knocked down that 3-footer.
Yes.
A lot on the line. I mean, it's the Sanderson Farms. It's like probably one of the least spotlighted events, but the win gets you all the perks.
Yeah,
all the perks of a PGA Tour win. So congratulations to Peter. Some other decent names in there. William McGirt.
He's played well.
Yeah. He tied for second with David Toms, who seems this year to pop up every now and then.
You realize there's only 6 guys ahead of him all time on the money list.
Well, he was like unbelievable for a stretch.
Yeah, he had a good long run. He won that PGA, and that 10 years he had just solid. I mean, he's way up the list.
Still obviously competitive. Aaron Baddeley, Patton Kaziri, Roberto Castro, Bryce Mulder, and Jonathan Vegas round out the top 5.
Vegas got the greatest name ever.
So that's your Sanderson Farms update. Let's move on to a topic that has kind of been on the
clock's ticking.
Yeah, the commentators have been talking about it, and the reason I want to talk about it tonight is because Bernard Langer won the Champions Tour event this weekend using the long putter. He still hasn't gone away from it in anticipation of the January 1st
He's going as long as he can.
Yeah, and he's really become synonymous with that putting style and one of the most successful guys using it.
17 years now he's been putting that way, and he said he was going to probably go to the way Matt Kuchar putts, where he not anchors it, but he places it against his arm, his forearm.
Right, which you can't anchor against your body.
But you can put it against your arm. And ironically, though, one of his Masters wins, or both of his Masters wins, were with the normal putting grip.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. If you've won the Masters putting without anchoring, then you know that you can putt.
Exactly.
There's not a tougher putting tournament,
It all goes back to '92 in the Ryder Cup, though, when he missed that 2-footer.
Well, yeah, it's funny. One guy who has had to change from anchoring to non-anchoring is Ernie Els,
Right.
and we've seen him in the past month miss a
Hasn't-
couple of short
Hasn't
ones.
gone so well for him.
And I honestly think that the main reason someone might go to that is for the short putts.
Right.
You know, once you
Right.
get those yips with
Yeah,
the
it's
2 or 3 footers,
pushing 'em.
it's really unnerving.
Scary.
And the anchoring, that kind of makes it,
Yeah.
takes that away from it.
Well,
So,
Watson had him for a long time, and he stayed with the traditional putter. But these guys, I mean, with Bernard Langer and others, having to change, it's interesting to see how they kind of go up and down. Adam Scott, he comes in second last week, basically almost wins the tournament, and then this week he basically comes in dead last. And it's got to have something to do with him changing that putter. It's just lack of consistency right now because
he made a lot of double bogeys.
Yeah. And so it'll be interesting to see how they all do, but their time's running out. It's over, and it's done deal. So won't see any of it anymore.
Well, interesting enough, Bernard Langer and Michael Allen,
Right.
and Billy Andrade were the top 3 in this
Right.
week's Champions Tour event, and Allen and Langer used the anchored putt. And
Right.
on that Champions Tour, a lot of guys use that,
Yeah, they
and
do.
partly too because of practicing with a regular putter is bad for your back.
Right,
Where
right.
some of these older folks
Standing upright.
using the anchoring putter, they can spend more time on the putting green putting. So
It'll be interesting to see the putting stats at the end of next year when these guys have had a full season to go back to the regular putter and see if it is better or worse for them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them got to be nervous. I mean, they're getting comfortable with this other way. And
there's so many other putters now, like the one that Adam Scott went to. It's just a different
Yep.
feel or look than a putter that might have even been available to him, 5-10
Right.
years ago. So
Right.
these guys have options, but one of them is not anchoring as of January 1st.
Right.
So definitely something to look at as we head into 2016. And now it's time for our Golf J Weekly Trivia question. What we'd like you to do is tweet your answer to @thegolfj, and each week we give away a Golf J hat. This week we're also going to throw in a swingOil
VIP
promo.
certificate.
Yeah, a VIP certificate. That's right.
That's right.
And all you got to do is be first to tweet us the answer.
Yep.
And this week you might have to use all 140 categories to answer, our characters to answer
Yes.
correctly. But
A few names in this one.
can you name the 4 players to win a major using the anchored putting method? So there's 4 of them. We want just last names will be good. You don't need to put the events.
Right.
And first one to tweet us @thegolfj wins the golf hat and the VIP certificate from swingOil. And we'll give you the answer at the end of the show. So
Right.
so hang around if you're curious.
Absolutely.
Last
That
week's
hat.
winner was Johnny Jor.
Johnny
He
Gore.
correctly answered the question, which was Justin Thomas's win last week came in his 43rd start. Which major champion's first win came in his 122nd start? And of course, the answer, Bubba Watson, back on June 27th, 2010, at the Travelers.
And just noticing Johnny Jor has 2 J's, 2 O's, 2 R's in that. So that's he's only using a couple letters there. Johnny, congratulations.
So that brings us to our review this week, which
swingOil.
and you might be wondering what swingOil is. Where do you put it on your clubs?
Yeah.
No, it's a nutritional supplement.
Exactly.
And it was about a week and a half ago.
Week
We
ago.
played. Yeah, well, actually,
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, less than a week ago, we
Yeah.
played a round of golf here, and we downed a packet of swingOil.
Yeah.
And first of all, it tastes really good.
Unbelievable taste.
I'm skeptical of this kind of thing, so I downed it, didn't think much of it, but normally, when I golf, getting up in age now at age 43, on the way back,
You
there's
tighten
a
up.
point
Right.
where it catches it becomes
Yeah.
difficult,
Yeah.
and sometimes it hurts, especially early in the round.
Absolutely.
Wasn't feeling that,
No.
and it
Well-
wasn't exactly. It was nice weather, but
It wasn't hot out or anything like that. To loosen you
no.
up.
So I really don't have any thing to thank for that effortless feeling except
Other
for the
than
swing
swing
oil. So
Well, it's not an energy drink. It's not like you're just down on a Red Bull for energy. This is kind of a more for focus, for strength, and for flexibility. So it has all those kind of characteristics that this drink comes in. Comes in a 3-ounce pouch. It's got 7 key ingredients. So it has taurine and citrulline for your strength component, ginseng and rhodiola for your focus, and then glucosamine, chondroitin, and turmeric for your flexibility. So it really hits a lot of points. It's something that, you know, we drank it before the round and
Went down easy,
Yeah.
went down fast,
Great
and
taste.
it was tasting. That's one
Great
thing I was
taste.
pretty concerned about what this was going to
Absolutely.
taste like,
No,
and
it's-
found myself wanting a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like Kool-Aid. You know, it's got a smooth. It doesn't have a sour taste to it. It's
3 flavors.
Yep, lemon lime, strawberry, banana, and orange. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the lemon lime.
I liked them all. I didn't really have a favorite. They're all
excellent.
tasty.
Yep, absolutely. And you can go to swingoil.com to get them. Each box of swing oil comes with 12 3-ounce packets.
There's a 24 pack available too, but
Yep.
the 12 pack I know is $29.50.
Yep, and these guys new to the market. Jason Day is their main spokesperson.
He drinks it, yeah.
He drinks it, so that's
Kenny Perry.
Kenny Perry definitely loved it, and so it's something you should definitely give a try. It keeps you loose and you swing smooth. So try swing oil at www.swingoil.com.
Gave it to a couple of our buddies too, and they all gave it good reviews.
Absolutely.
The thing with this is it's a tough thing to review because we took it, we felt great,
Yep.
and it's tough to say, oh yeah, it was because of the swing oil. But
Right.
you know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
we felt good.
I have taken it a couple of times since with a workout or when I was just hitting some balls into the net, and you feel you don't feel any tightness. You're not sore afterwards, and it lets you swing smooth. So I mean it does what it says it does. Swing oil.
And pretty cool to have this, supplement for golfers.
Absolutely.
It's,
Absolutely. Yep.
It's it could become a part of my pre-round routine
Absolutely.
going forward, without a doubt.
No doubt. Give it a try. We highly recommend it.
So, one place where you might not expect to play golf would
Yes.
be inside Petco Park. But for the past week, you've been able to go and pay your greens fees and play a 9-hole par 3 inside Petco Park.
Sold out. Every tee time's been sold out for a week, and today's the last day that they have. So if you're out in San Diego, you have about another 3 hours to get your round in at the links at Petco Park. Pretty interesting place, though. They did.
You're teeing up from the third deck on some holes,
Yeah.
and
It's about a 1,000-yard course, but you're teeing up. Not only are you teeing off, but you're hitting over other holes and
It
other
could get
people.
dangerous.
So I
Could
don't
get
understand
dangerous.
that part of it. I
Could
was
get
kind of
dangerous.
leery on how I'm getting a tee shot hit over my head when I'm trying to make my birdie putt, but it looked pretty interesting. And there's I think Kenny Maine's doing a little spot on it tonight on the Scott Van Pelt show. So check that out as well. But it was pretty cool to see that, and you'll probably see that again there for sure, being that it's in San Diego, and who knows, that'll get copied all over the country when it can.
well, a lot of what are you going to do it at Fenway? They're playing baseball in the summer, and
Right.
it's going to be a little
Right.
chilly in the off
Yeah,
season.
if you do the good weather spots, they'll probably see that happening. I guarantee it'll happen down at Marlins Park. It's places like
Great
that.
way for a fundraiser. It's something Callaway did
Yeah.
at Petco, so
Pretty
good
cool.
promotion for them. I could see it as a fundraiser.
Right.
And then there's also there's an article at golfj.com that has some videos and pictures
Yep.
from Petco if you're wondering what we're talking about.
Right.
There was also an article on Golf J that we linked to at Golf Digest where they propose maybe some other places for
Right.
for something like this, like Ellis Island underneath the Statue of Liberty,
That'd be cool.
and
I like it.
the center court at Wimbledon.
Right. It's grass. Our good friend Paige Spiranek played it too, and she loved it. And she had a couple birdies. So, hey, get out there, check it out.
Well, last week our fantasy picks at the HSBC did not do too good, although you did pick Kevin
I did
Kisner
have
tied for
Kisner.
second,
Yep.
which was, thank goodness, because we only had one guy in the top 10 and one guy in the top 20, and our winners' picks didn't do. I picked Adam Scott, and he was awful.
I picked him too. I didn't pick him to win, but you're right. He didn't help
And
us
all
out.
our players made the cut, though.
They did, because
So-
there was no cut.
So the last 2 weeks, I think we got 100% on the cut making.
Exactly. So our cut making is very high this year.
So now we move to Mexico, where we've got
El Camellon Country Club.
Yeah, which is I think it's a Greg Norman design.
Yep.
And there's like 6 holes on the beach and 6 in the jungle.
Right.
It's like a really interesting course and absolutely beautiful. And that's I think one of the things that attracts players
Right.
down there. It's a nice kind of resort
Yeah,
type of course.
and they have this one huge like cave bunker in the middle of one of the fairways.
Yeah, it's an underground cavern.
yeah, it's nuts. Don't hit it in there; you'll be in there for a while.
But the defending champ, Charlie Hoffman, past winners of this event, Harris English in 2014, John Hugh in 2012. I think they canceled in 13 because of a hurricane or something.
Yeah, it was a bad weather one of those.
John
years.
Hugh 2012, Johnson Wagner 2011, Cameron Beckman 2010. So these are all guys who've been,
Yeah.
up top of leaderboards for the past couple of years on tour. So I would expect to see another fairly decent name winning this thing, despite the fact that it's one of the weaker fields that we've seen yet
Right.
this year. All 8 OHL Classics have been won by an American-born player.
Right.
So even though it's in Mexico, it's been the Americans that have dominated winning there.
Yeah.
This week's field includes Smiley Kaufman, who won a couple weeks ago, Matt Kuchar, Angel Cabrera, probably one of the elder statesmen in the field, Jason Bone, Fred Funk, speaking of elder statements,
Yeah.
now he won this before, so he's back on his
D-
exemption.
Yeah, DL3's in, and he's been playing well.
And Russell Knox, last week's winner, which he's listed in the field. I don't even know if he's going to change his plans after winning or not, but
Guys like that like to play though. It doesn't phase them at all. So.
normally we're able to give you some DraftKings numbers with our picks, but
Right.
DraftKings, probably because the Sanderson Farms,
Sanderson's late.
they
Yeah.
have not yet at the time of our
They
show.
haven't handicapped their picks yet.
Yeah, so this week we're just gonna, and normally we like to pick them from DraftKings too, so we
Right.
could take our team and put it in DraftKings, and I think, honestly, I think I could fit my team under the salary cap, and looking at your team,
Right.
I
Maybe
think
not.
so too. It's
Maybe
tough
close.
to tell. Tough to tell, but
Yeah, you never know what those bottom guys are going to get money wise, how they're going to rate them.
let's
Oh my God.
start with our winners.
Okay.
And I'm going with the strongest guy in the field. He's won just a few weeks ago in Fiji, and it's Matt Kuchar.
Yeah.
Cooch.
Cooch.
I'm not a big Kuchar picker in these things, but this week in this field, he's one of the only players in the field that played in the President's Cup and
Yeah.
Ryder's Cup. He's definitely like a next level player compared to everybody else in
Right,
this
right.
field. So I'm going with Cooch.
Can't argue that pick. Hopefully he does a little better than Adam Scott, because you can't argue with Adam Scott either, coming off that second. And he didn't help
Yeah,
us, but I think
yeah.
Cooch is ready to have a strong performance. I'm going to go with Harris English. I like what he's been doing lately. He's won this tournament before.
I love Harris English.
Absolutely.
Good pick.
He's a great player right now, and he has 15 consecutive cuts. He's been in the top 25 in 4 of his last 5. So he's hot right now, and I like his chances. He's definitely, I feel he's strong.
And a former winner.
Yeah, strong for the top 5, but I like him to win the tournament this week. So I'm going to go with Harris English.
All right, fair enough on that pick. And now we'll give you some strong plays. Fill out your roster. There you
Harris
go,
will stand
Harris.
up.
There
Come on,
you
Harris.
go. He's got his Georgia Bulldogs
Might not pick him
polo
if he
on.
doesn't stand up there.
Strong plays. I'm going with Sean Stefani. He finished second last year, and this week I'm not coming with a lot of stats. I'm going with a gut. Last
feelings this week.
last week I had such a team that was so statistically well put together
Right.
that I thought I had the perfect calculation.
I know what
So
you're
this
saying.
week I'm going gut, and I'm going with Stefani. The only stat I'm giving you is he finished second last year.
So you feel good about him.
Yeah.
So who else you got there?
Well, another guy is Martin Laird, who I think is up at the
Yeah.
top of this field going into it.
Yeah.
Gut feeling there. I'm going with Pat Perez. I pick Pat Perez like once a month,
Yeah.
and he seems to do decent.
Yeah, I like that. I've seen him on Twitter lately. He's just been hanging out with his buddies out in Phoenix, playing casual rounds. He's loose. He's ready to go. I like that pick.
And then I'm going with Jason Duffner.
Duff Daddy.
He's had a little resurgence in
Yeah.
his game over the
Yeah.
past few months, and it might be time for
Got
him to
some
get
issues
another
out of the
win
way.
under his belt.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Duffner as my 4th strong play of the week.
All right, I like those. And so I'm going to go with Patton Kaziri. He was T4 this week at Sanderson, and he had a tie for second at the
And
Shriners.
he might follow that trend. He
Yeah.
might be the next
Is he the guy?
first-time winner
I'm-
coming off the his Web.com Tour Championship.
I'm not picking him to win, but I like him up to the top there, and he could probably get it done as well. As Jim said, I like Matt Kuchar. He's had 6 top 10s in his last 10 tournaments. It's hard to pick against him. So while I didn't pick him as a winner, he's definitely going to be up there as well. He's playing well. He had pretty good President's Cup, and he won the tournament in Fiji. So I'm going with Matt Kuchar. Alex Cheka, he was T2 at Shriners and T17 at the CIMB. So he's got 2 top 25s in his last 2 tournaments. He's playing well. Johnny Vegas. Half the time I think I pick him because of the name. I mean, it's just the greatest name for golf and fantasy and all that. What better name than Johnny Vegas? But his stats also do show. So he was T4 this week at Sanderson. He's 3 for 3 and made cuts with 2 top 10s. So he's playing well in addition. So
got a sleeper?
Johnny Vegas. Sleeper, I'm going to go with Jason Gore. He had a good showing at the CIMB. He had a pretty good end to the 2015 season where he had a couple top 10s and made some cuts. So my gut says Jason Gore is going to have a good week this week.
My sleeper, a Mexican-born player playing in Mexico, Carlos Ortiz.
I like it.
He had a pretty solid year last year on the tour, and so now he's entering his sophomore campaign and playing in
home country.
Home country, why not?
Seems like anybody that when you're playing in a tournament that's not traditional in the United States and you're playing in your home country, these guys seem to really show up for it. They want to do well and represent.
Country, the local fans will probably turn out for him too, in the same way they did last week in China.
Oh, exactly.
So, there you have it.
There they are.
OHL Classic at Mayakoba.
We put our stamp on it.
Good picks.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we do better than last week. We've gone every other week. We've done great and then not so good, and then great and then not so good. So this should be a great week. So good luck.
We're gonna knock them down this week for sure.
All righty. Answer to our trivia question: which 4 major winners won with anchored putters? And you got Keegan Bradley doing it, the 2011 PGA Championship. Remember that one? You got Webb Simpson. He's probably the toughest of the 3 to get. 2012 U.S. Open. Ernie Els won the Open Championship in 2012. And Adam Scott won the 2013 Masters. So you really have a career Grand Slam for the anchored putter. That's won each of the
5 years. And Adam Scott could have had both of those.
Yeah, true.
He came in second in the Open there. So anchored putters, those guys, I hope you guys get it figured out because it's coming to an end.
Yeah, very. It really, I feel like this week of the Champions Tour final, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that was the last hurrah for it. Welcome to the world of putting like all of us regular guys.
That's right. The right way.
Exactly. The way it was meant to be played.
Well, that about does it for another episode of the GolfJ.com podcast. Thanks for spending time with us tonight. Connect with us online at Twitter at the GolfJ. We're on Instagram at _GolfJ, and you can search for GolfJ on Facebook. All our episodes and the best of the wide world of golf on the web can be found at golfj.com. We'll be back next Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern for our last show for about a month till after the holidays. So until then, hit 'em long, not often.
GolfJ.com